Well, welcome to bringing the Harry Potter films, the theme park set and prop design. Now, as you can see, we have some pretty awesome props on this set. What do you guys think? Excellent. I'm sure you want to know all about it. We have some very special guests right now. I'm going to introduce you to them. Starting off is the one and only Alan Gilmore. He is art director for the Harry Potter films and supervising art director for the Weasely World Parks. Make some noise for Alan Gilmore. Next up, we have the lead sculptor for the Harry Potter movies and theme parks. It's Bryn Courts. Never happened. And last but not least, he's the senior prop manager for Universal Creative. Give it up for Eric Baker.
Hello everybody, how you doing coming this morning? It's really cool to share this whole event with you guys. I believe you've all had a brilliant weekend. I think you were all in Hogsmeade last night. Had a great time. We had great fun building Hogsmeade several years ago. We're now building Diagon Alley and you're going to love it just as much. It's going to be an amazing place. I'd like to introduce you to two of my colleagues here. Right beside me is Bryn Court. Bryn is the lead sculptor on all the Harry Potter movies and also the lead sculptor on Diagon Alley. So he's producing some beautiful work which you'll see very soon. And at the end here we have Eric Baker, who's our props master and design guru for creating some of the amazing objects you see on the stage here today. Let you guys introduce yourselves.
Well, my name is Eric Baker. I'm senior prop manager, as I said. I started out in the film business for about 20 years, and then I moved into theme parks with the first round of Harry Potter. And it's been an amazing, long experience. And taking the things that were built for the movies and turning them into things that will last forever in a theme park has been a huge challenge, and that's a little bit about what we're going to tell you guys about today.
Hi, my name is Bryn Court. I was the sculptor in all the movies. We were there at the start when Stuart designed it, and we worked with him to create all the lovely, wonderful things that you guys love in the movies. And they've kindly asked us over here to help out make this the best experience you guys will ever see. I mean, it's going to be like walking into a movie set, so I'm sure you'll love it.
The relationship between Warner Brothers and Universal started about 6 years ago when we first started to design Hogsmeade and Hogwarts, and it was a very exciting time for Bryn, myself, and all our colleagues back at Leavesden Studios in London, because we've always worked in movies, that's our career, but to have the chance to take the movies and make them real was a really exciting opportunity. We learned a lot from the Universal team. They're absolute geniuses at themed environments. We learned all about a new form of entertainment, which is bringing you guys into a place and bringing you into a movie. So for us, it's been a fabulous journey.
Oh, it's been amazing, you know, to actually be involved in something that's permanent. We're not used to that. We're used to making film sets, they get shot and thrown away. But to do something with you guys, people are going to see it every day, has been great. We've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the first people hired on Potter in Orlando, and I worked for almost 5 years on Hogsmeade from the original concept to opening day, and it's been an amazing journey.
Should we explain a little bit of the process of how this all happened, really? How do you design a theme park? Like Eric was involved even before we were involved, because Universal had to conceptualize the thoughts, how do we make a Harry Potter theme park? And they worked on that, and Eric will explain in a moment how that was done, but they took that to us, the filmmakers, and that was how we really joined forces.
Yeah, I mean, we started out just doing initial concept work here in Orlando, and worked on that for almost a year probably before we got involved with Stuart Craig and the team in the UK. And then we started heading over to London and really seeing how magical Harry Potter is.
It was for Stuart, it was a brilliant journey. Stuart's a sculptor by trade, and he saw the design of the first park as a giant sculpture, really the composition of Hogsmeade, Hogwarts, the amazing view you get when you walk through the entry arch, and then at the top of the street, when you see Hogwarts looming above you. It was something Stuart spent many months with myself, Bryn, and the team. Bryn designed the mountain that Hogwarts sits on. It was a really amazing design exercise. You want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, Stuart, if you obviously saw the movies, the original castle we built at Leafton Studios, we did it with a model unit, and the rock work, we loved the rock work, but Stuart wanted to do something different for this park. So he came to me and he said, look, what can we do differently? I really want this thing to be dynamic looking. So we started working on some models and concepts, and we came up with this whole amazing rock that the castle sits on, and it just developed, went on from there. We spent a few weeks working on it. It changed quite a few times, but that's basically what you see now. And for the new parks, we've actually improved it again, because Stuart always wants to improve things. Every time we build something, when we did the movies, all the sets, every time they dusted them off, took the covers off, and Stuart was like, how can we improve them?
You might have noticed that things like Hagrid's Hut moved around a little bit. Some other parts of Hogwarts happened to kind of magically float around and reappear somewhere else. And every time we started a new movie, it was quite exciting to see what Stuart would invent this time, what great ideas. We love the guy, he's a real visionary, his ideas are fabulous, and he has translated with Universal his film vision into a real place, and beautifully, and we can all vouch for that. It's a beautiful place to be, just to hang out. Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, and very soon Diagon Alley.
They're going to push the boundaries even further with Diagon Alley. You'll be in the world. It'll be amazing.
Absolutely. One of the coolest things for me is seeing it all come together as one big thing. When you were filming in the UK, you would see, here's the Great Hall set, or here's Gryffindor Common set, and to see it all come together as a proper castle, and to see Diagon Alley in London all come together as this one unit is pretty amazing.
We've always designed the sets kind of like they're real buildings, so we had a good sense of what these places might look like, but when you guys came along and said, right, we're going to make it real, we're going to make a town, we're going to build Hogwarts, that was a real challenge for us as well, to think through how does the Gryffindor Common Room link, how does the Great Hall link to another part of the castle, what would they be like? It was a really excellent challenge to shape those spaces, and the whole team in London really embraced the challenge, and for them it's lovely to have the legacy here to see the designs that we've collectively created live on and be adored by so many fans.
I'm fortunate. I want to call out, I've got my crew here today. I've got an amazing group of artists that work with us, and if you guys don't mind standing up and taking a bow, these are the guys that make all this amazing stuff that you see up here. All right. Everything they do is to be as good as or better than was seen in the movies. A lot of times the things that you saw in the movies were just background shapes that didn't really have much to them, especially in places like Dumbledore's office and stuff. So we found this amazing artist, Dave Hyde, who makes all these crazy gadgets that you see in Dumbledore's office. And he's building all these amazing telescopes right now that you're going to see in Wiseacre's Wizarding Supply. I mean, my whole team is the most talented artists that I've ever asked to be together. George Kokomas, who's my lead scenic artist, is challenged daily, coming up with paint finishes that will look as amazing as they did in the movie. They'll hold up to guest interaction every day. So that's a huge part of what we do, trying to take things that were built to last one day on a movie set, and the last 20 years in a theme park, with people touching it every day.
Should we talk a little bit about the few objects behind us?
Yeah. Over here, first of all, they asked me to bring a few things. I wanted to bring the biggest things that we have for Diagon Alley. So this is the Vanishing Cabinet that you see in Boygan and Burke's and in the Room of Requirement in the movies. Once again, everything we do is recreated exactly to the movie drawings as much as possible. In this case, we even computer cut all the filigree on the front of the cabinet to make sure it's exact matches to what Stuart Craig and his team created for the movies.
I've been pushing George, your painter, very hard, and George is a brilliant guy, but I think I stress him out every so often with the rigorous pushing of the levels of detail. And when you guys get to visit this cabinet in Diagon Alley, you will see up close how beautiful this object is. He has done an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up over here, we've got a 9-foot tall suit of troll armor. The troll armor was just seen very, very briefly in the movies, and we're going to be able to feature it in our blacksmith shop in Diagon Alley. And this is a real hand-hammered suit of armor. There's no molding, sculpting, or casting. Every piece on it was hand-hammered with an anvil, just as you would build a proper suit of armor. And then the last thing on the right down there is an actual blackboard that was used in the Dark Arts classroom in the Potter films. And Warner Brothers has generously given it to us to put into our castle. So we'll be replacing the Dark Arts blackboard that's in there now and putting the actual one from the movie in just to make things that more authentic.
And you got something tucked around the corner there.
Down the end, it's we call it the Weasely rocket, and that is a piece that's featured in the Weasley Brothers store, and everything in that store, that's the thing I'm most excited about, is getting to decorate the Weasley store, because I had the privilege of being on the set of Half-Blood Prince when they were filming that scene, and being on that set and then getting to recreate it is it's a very exciting thing for me.
Look, we're very lucky to represent the huge team that go into creating all of this. There, behind the scenes, there are many hundreds of people here in Orlando, back in London, all over the US, globally, who are bringing all these parts together to create this very special project. And we're using technology, we're using artisans, we're using all the old skills. It's a brilliant experience. I've seen Bryn in his workshop carving with clay, and also with digital technology. We're using everything out there, CNC, computer cutting, we're covering all the bases of technological development, but then all the old skills as well. We want to keep those alive. Working with the carvers and vendors on the project, we're doing some beautiful work out there, and can't wait for you guys to see it.
You want to take a look at some slides?
Let's look at the slides.
We've got a few behind-the-scenes photos, and these are all making of Hogsmeade. All right, first off, this is the Chinese licorice man that's in Honeydews. This is the very early rough sculpts of him. The Chinese licorice man is probably my favorite piece that my amazing crew built for the first round of Potter. And it's also a very special piece because Pierre Bohanna, who was the lead prop fabricator on the Potter movies, his father fabricated the original Chinese licorice man for the movies. It was one of the last pieces that he built before he passed away. So it was very important to me that we be exactly spot on with everything we did. This is the licorice man after he's been painted and in the final stages. This is one of the goblins being sculpted out of clay for the Chinese licorice man. And you can actually see a little bit of one of the golden eggs behind his right ear. And then this is the finished product in the store. And thank you. It's these guys up there that did it, not me.
Again, every detail is rigorously pursued to the absolute degree where it replicates the film detail. So we push very hard, and we push each other. It's a real kind of team effort. Yeah. The guys have delivered so well.
Normally, in the theme park business, you would farm out to a scene shop or something, all the props and sets to be handled by an outside vendor. But with Potter, we brought it all in-house, and my entire crew are working directly, for Universal Studios, and a piece of their heart goes into everything that they make. This is the Weasley Brothers car, as we were flying it on with the help of a forklift. This, once again, Warner Brothers was gracious enough to loan us one of the cars that was actually used in the film. So the Weasley car that you see out at the Dragon Challenge Cube is one that was actually used in the film. This next piece, Bryn may want to help a bit to recognize this. These are the chess automata that is in the Zonko's window, and basically we miniaturized what Bryn had done for the movie.
Can we get Bryn to talk a bit about the original chess pieces in the films? It's quite a nice link.
Yeah, these obviously have been copied from the original chess pieces we did in the first movies, and those chess pieces didn't actually start out like this. They went through a big design process to what you saw in the actual movie. So it was Eric here who took our designs and came to London, saw the actual pieces themselves, and created these great models. They look really great, really good.
Yeah, with these guys, when I was in the UK, I took hundreds and hundreds of photos of the sets and the props and everything. We also spent a lot of time doing digital scans of all the statues that are in the castle. Actually, the suit of troll armor, we did a digital scan of originally, and did a 3D print, which was actually, we probably call him a maquette. He was about this tall. And then the artist who built the suit of armor worked from that maquette to make sure it exactly matched what was at least. And this is the dragon that hangs in the dark arts classroom. This was the one piece that we took a little bit of liberty with from what was seen in the movies. In the movie, it was very much like a museum exhibit piece, I think. But we really tried to make him look fierce and as if it's a real dragon skeleton.
So we actually went on several trips to the British Science Museum and the Natural History Museum, and we really weren't to study dinosaurs and many creatures to try and find what they look like, how they exist. And Stuart's team in London originally had to conceptualize dragon skeletons. As we know, dragons are mythical, well, we think they are, and we've not yet found one, so until we do find one, we have to kind of conceptualize it, and this journey helped us produce this beautiful piece that Eric built.
That's one of the things that Alan always pushes us towards, is making sure that everything looks like it would function in the real world. So this skeleton had to appear that it could be a real working skeleton. Same thing with everything, all the gadgets and stuff in Dumbledore's office. Everything looks like it actually does something. And if you talk to Dave Hyde, he can tell you exactly what everything does, because he made up a story to go with every piece.
There's a real push for an underlying logic to every design in Harry Potter. Everything has to make sense. Even the leaning buildings of Hogsmeade, the leaning chimneys, they still have to feel like they could exist. They have to feel real. You have to believe that those stones are absolutely brought over from Scotland and laid stone by stone to create that Scottish village. And again, with Diagon Alley, we actually brought bricks from London, so you'll see some real London bricks out there.
So next up, this is another piece for Bryn. This is the Griffin statue, the very beginnings of the Griffin statue. And once again, we did a digital scan of the actual prop from the movie, and then we had it all CNC computer cut, and then it was finished out by hand. So this is the Griffin in the fiberglass phases once it's been had all the hand sculpting applied. And then this is Eric Hunt, who's one of our creative producers, as they're beginning to paint the Griffin. And then this is the final piece before it was installed into the castle. One of the huge challenges with the Griffin was the chamber that he goes in was being built here on site while we were building the statue off property. No. And he literally fit within a 1/16 of an inch into the chamber.
Bryn was involved in the original Griffin back in the movies, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I remember this well because I got a piece of paper about so big with a little sketch on it, and one of the art department runners came and said, "Stuart's just sketched something, he wants you to look at this, can you do a little model of this?" And I said, "What's this?" And I ended up doing a little model of it, and then he came down and explained it. And it was a challenge because in the movie, Harry steps into the staircase and this thing spins round. And those wings were like this far away from the set each side. And they said, "You sure that we're going to hit the size of them?" That's the set there. Yeah. So,
this is the actual piece at Leavesden.
That's right. It was a typical Stuart Craig whim where he thought, how can we make a staircase to Dumbledore's office more interesting? I know. And he came up with this idea, and
that's his genius, isn't it?
Yeah, he used to come up with
a very ordinary moment and makes it extraordinary by creating this very quirky detail. And this happens throughout everything he touches. So we're fascinated by what he'll come up with next. We're always waiting for the next challenge, and they will be a challenge. They'll give us headaches.
Oh yeah.
We love solving them.
We were always going, well, what's this now? What have we got to do now? And then he'd explain it and go, okay, all right, let's do that. So
this is a quick shot of me. We always have fun at my shop, and this was one day Warner Brothers sent us a crate filled with props from the Potter movies, and so this is me celebrating in victory and showing off the new props that we've gotten from Warner Brothers. It's always exciting when we get anything from them. It's like Christmas Day for me all the time. This is Dumbledore's desk. Once again, it was recreated exactly from drawings used in the movie, and then all computer cut to exactly match what you see in Weasely.
Kind of leads to part of the design of Harry Potter. It's very gothic. You'll see the style of what we call tracery panels within the desk. It's a beautiful style of architecture, very geometric and beautiful patterns, and you'll see it reflected throughout the world of Harry Potter. It's something we use as a core design reference to tell the storyline and to show mainly Hogwarts and the magical side of the world.
This is the beginnings of Hagrid's pumpkin patch, and a great deal of time and pain was taken to make sure that it looked right on the location. So this is Alan and George Nokomis on the right there, checking out the rough sculpts of the pumpkins out at Hagrid's before they go back to being fiberglass and finish. In my opinion, the pumpkins are one of the things that George and his team really brought to life and made amazing, because they had to look like real pumpkins, not carved foam and fiberglass.
Spent a lot of time just designing pumpkins. So we'll spend an inordinate amount of time on the smallest details, and some people go, this is a little bit crazy, but it kind of adds to the overall layering. And you want an object we've made to live next to a real object, and you never know that they're not real. You want everything to feel 100% authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the snakeheads that appear in the Chamber of Secrets. Our guys sculpted them here in Orlando, and Brent can tell you a little bit about the ones that they did for the movie.
Yeah, I did one for the movie, and to make them look different, we just sculpted 3 different tongues. You know, a little trick. So we replicated those for the Chamber of Secrets. But these look great. The ones you've done for the ride here, they're great.
Yeah, they did an amazing job duplicating these. I mean, you only see them for a split second on the ride, but they're one of my favorite pieces in the ride. And then finally, this is the One-Eyed Witch statue. This is just the rough foam sculpt, and then this is her going into fiberglass and then into paint after that. And that was another piece. Did you sculpt that, Brian?
No, a colleague of mine, Andrew Holder, who worked with me on the first movie, sculpted this with me. I helped him to begin with, and I was taken away with the chess set and all that kind of stuff. But what's funny is that the way you guys approach some of these jobs is a bit different to us. It's the same thing we come up with. We've got a slightly different process. It's fascinating to see how these guys work, and and the results are, as you can see, great.
It's one of the hardest parts of the journey is how do we replicate the films in the theme park world, and that's part of the great discovery of trying to make everything look absolutely real. So when you walk around Hogsmeade, you do believe it's granite. When you walk around Diagon Alley, you believe it's brick. And every statue and sculpture, including something that you're working on, will look absolutely real.
Absolutely.
Guys, hey, how's it going? Now, I'm sure you guys have been enjoying this so far, am I right? Now, we want to open this up for some questions from the audience. So if you guys have any questions, we have Jason, Julia, Stephen, and Aaron out here. Find them. They're going to get prepared. But before we get into that, we actually have some special guests here who are going to walk us through some more props that we have backstage. So you know them as the Weasley twins. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for James and Oliver Phelps!
So this is a perfect example of pieces that were taken from the movie and turned into things to use in a theme park. The one on the left here is an actual prop from Weasely Studios, and it's basically a plush. It's all foam. I mean, you can move it, bend it, and then to put it in the parks here and have it last forever, we had to make them out of a solid fiberglass and make them so the covers can come off and be cleaned. And so it's just, you know, the type of stuff that we have to think of every day and what we do. But also I wanted to see how exact we are duplicating everything from the films by putting 2 pieces side by side.
I asked the guys if they're quite excited about opening their new store in Diagon Alley. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So when we had a look around it yesterday morning, It's still hard to imagine how it's going to look when it's all dressed and everything, but just the sheer size of it blew me away.
It's going to look exactly like the movie set.
Yeah.
Just like the movie set.
Yeah, it's cool that we can actually see the full, you can actually do a lap, as opposed to at least when you go Diagon Alley, you've got to come back the same way because there's no way out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be fantastic, especially seeing the joke shop in there.
And for the Weasely Brothers store, we went back to the vendors in the UK who built all the original packaging that was seen in the movies. So everything, once again, has been built by the original people who built it for the movies, incorporating the beautiful artwork of Mina Lima, Eduardo and Mira. Because to be the Weasely store is really a gallery of their work. I mean, it's an amazing place.
Excellent, guys. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for James and Oliver. All right, gentlemen, ready?
That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
It was like that.
I didn't know who they were pointing at. All right, we're gonna start this off. And first, here's what I want to do. I'm gonna keep this one off. Jason, hang on real quick. I want to ask you guys a question now. There's a lot of crazy props up here. Do you ever get attached to some of those? Like you work on them for so long. Do you ever just get attached to something? You're like, no, don't take it. And if you did, what was that prop?
I get attached to everything, really. I love it all. I'm a terrible hoarder. I want to bring it all home with me. Except my house in London is so small, I'd never fit any of this in.
You would just be like,
I'd have to squeeze through. But yeah, creating every object is, it's a brilliant journey, and seeing the team, and Eric's team, and all the various vendors bring it together it's a beautiful place. But then to actually place it in the park and in Hogsmeade, Hogwarts, Diagon Alley, that's the moment you know it's home. That's where it should live. So you have to let go at that point and walk away and let you guys enjoy it.
do you ever walk in and like, I miss you?
Absolutely. I have photographs of it every night on my phone. Night night, props. Night night.
All right, Jason, you got a question out there.
Hey guys, I'm here with Michael from Minneapolis.
Guys, thank you very much, and I got to say the place is, on a theme park level, some of the greatest work that's been put together. Can you talk about the scale and perspective issues of massive Hogwarts Castle?
Well, we work very hard on scale and perspective. We've learned over many years in the movie industry how to work in perspective. It's a very old trick, how to, especially on camera, how to fool the eye. In the theme park environment, it's real. You can view Hogwarts from many angles, from every angle. So Stuart and Universal worked very hard to work out the scale of each object. Hogwarts was composed really as a sculpture. Bryn, along with our team, and Eric, we made a huge model early on to really we made many versions to see what was the best viewpoint, what was the best way to enjoy this. Personally, I feel that when you turn the corner at the top of the high street, and also from the bridge, two very beautiful places to view Hogwarts, and it's scaleless. It's very hard to tell how big it is. At night time, it looks 1,000 feet high. It's a stunning, stunning piece of architecture. So yeah, we work very hard on scale. It's very important to us to get it absolutely right. Diagon Alley now, scale, it's all real scale. It's going to be huge. The buildings they loom above you. There's a real sense of enclosure and immersion. When you're in there, you are absolutely enclosed. You will think you are in the magical London. It's really cool.
Julia.
I have Ellie with me from Virginia.
Hi, I'd like to know what you found was the most challenging prop or set piece to make.
Ooh, okay. There was lots of challenging. I think the biggest challenges we had in the movies was some of these sets were really complicated, and I think one of the most challenging sets that was built was Dumbledore's office. Now that was right next to my workshop at the time, so I was in and out of the stage all the time. I was doing little bits for the office, all the little details, but some of the architecture in there.
It's like have you heard of an Escher?
Yeah.
It's like an Escher puzzle. It's three towers interlinked, and Stuart, being a genius at architecture design, created this design that he knew would work. And he actually had Michael Lamont design that set. Michael was a genius art director who absolutely knew all the shapes and details.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a beautiful room, and you see it now in Hogwarts today. It's a very lovely room to enter. It lives atop the large tower at Hogwarts. That really, definitely very challenging.
Yeah, it caused a lot of headaches with all the interlocking arches and columns, and being Stuart, he didn't just design the front of the set. You could walk into it. It was a proper built 360 set like we've got here in the ride, and so I think of all the sets, I think that was probably one of the most challenging.
Well, I think Eric, you had a few headaches building it here in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean we're constantly dealing with engineering and overhead safety and fire safety and all that stuff, and one of the most complicated pieces that we built that I think incorporated all of the trades: mold making, sculpting, casting, fiberglassing, carpentry. Was the Chinese licorice man that we showed you earlier. It was very important to us that it be dead on as a tribute to Pierre and his father, and that was one of the hardest pieces we did.
It's funny, just thinking about it, some of the hardest things are the littlest details. The small details can often be quite hard. The big gestures, like the whole street, the overall castle, they're not too bad. It's when you zoom in on the little details, they can take months and months of huge teams having meetings, and we have big meetings. It goes on like a ping pong match back and forward, and eventually we end at a very good solution, but sometimes it's a very simple idea that solves that problem.
I mean, one of the best parts of my job for me is I get to travel around the world and shop for Harry Potter. And get to go to the UK a lot, and I have a great crew. I work with Rosie Goodwin, the Oscar-nominated decorator from Gravity. She was the assistant decorator on Potter, and she works with me a lot when I'm in the UK.
We should mention Stephanie as well, Stephanie, who's an amazing set decorator for all the films, who sadly passed away recently, but she was an inspiration for all of us. But she gave us an amazing insight into quality and detail, and her partnership with Stuart was really the ultimate partnership in creating this whole look that we strive to recreate today.
I mean, Steph was amazing in that she took me under her wing and really taught me about Potter and how she looked at things with Potter. Pretty cool.
Very clean and clear eye, and it's just an education. I went to college, I studied architecture 20 years ago, but my education in Harry Potter is never ending. I feel I'll be learning forever. Really. There's so much to learn and understand and learn from these guys.
It's one of those things that just keeps going.
Absolutely, it's a vocation, not even a job, it's a vocation. We feel like we're in college, we're like this big college group, we're kind of hanging out together, and we love what we do. We're so privileged, and we love sharing it with these guys.
It's a beautiful thing. Stephen.
Hi everybody, I have Amanda from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hello! I wanted to say I really appreciate all the attention to detail that you guys put into everything. Like, all the Potterheads here have to love that, right? I was wondering how much you guys drew from actual Scottish villages when creating Hogsmeade, because I really felt like I was there. I mean, I would have loved to apparate there instead of having to fly on a plane, you know, muggle transportation. But where did you guys get all this inspiration? Any specific places?
It's a combination of many places, really. Like, Scotland has a lot of the architectural details you see there, but really it's Stuart creating this special, unique place, but he absolutely sourced real environments.
Well, yeah, I mean, Stuart came, obviously had the original idea. He'll come up with a concept, but then he'll draw on real places. So everyone was travelling all over the UK to visit locations, to take impressions from real stone walls. We had teams going all over the place to make this authentic, and so everything you see in the land has been inspired by real life, and that's what Stuart has always done with these films. He's made sure that it's believable. It's fantasy, but it's believable fantasy.
So if you go to the Owlery, old English and Scottish towns had medieval gathering buildings which were up on columns. That's where they had a market.
Yeah.
It's probably the origin of the modern day mall.
I mean, you can go to cities in England like York, and you can be walking down the street and go, hey, this must be like Diagon Alley. It's because it's based on real places and real buildings.
And buildings really do lean and wonk like that over there. I can vouch.
They were very badly built a few years ago, weren't they?
Yeah, you see, York is a city in England where there are many beautiful leaning buildings, so we studied those for how do they lean, what happens to them. So what you see there is actually very authentic. We've pushed it a little bit with the chimneys, snake and twist, but it's quite beautiful. It's sculpture.
One of the best things when we started work on Diagon Alley was we went out into London with Alan and Stuart, and they were able to show us physically in London how things should look and say, you know, this is the Pantages Theatre, and just seeing these buildings in real life really aided us in being able to authentically recreate them.
Now at Diagon Alley we're doing the same thing where we've done the London tour many times. We've studied the real places, we've studied where all the filming took place, where did the night bus travel through, all the iconic spaces in London that Harry and the other students would have come from and visited.
Aaron?
All right, with our next question we have Cherish from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hi, I was wondering, what did you learn about making Hogsmeade that you improved upon in Diagon Alley?
Wow, that's good.
Well, I think it's, we've often heard that the challenge is to raise the bar, to do even better than the first time. Hogsmeade is pretty perfect, it's pretty cool. Hogsmeade is a Scottish village though, so it lives in the open landscape. London is a very dense city that's developed many layers over 1,000 years, maybe longer, so we had to try and recreate that environment, and Universal initially provided the concept, was they had to obviously make it work for guests, so with that very clever design concept, we took that and we pushed it even further, and we created this very layered, very beautiful environment where we have many magical spaces. I described it the other day as a maze crisscrossing itself, and that's probably the only way I can describe it, because there's so many different pathways, like a real city. If you go to London, London is an amazing place. The longer you're there, the more you discover, the more ways you find to go between various places, and that's what Diagon Alley is trying to achieve. And Eric and his team, Bryn, and all the guys here at Universal have really pushed hard to replicate that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's the attention to detail that really made Hogsmeade a huge success, I think. I mean, I love it when I go out in the park and all you guys are there with your cameras taking pictures of every single little detail that we put in the park. And that's what we've tried to take up to another notch with Diagon Alley, because it is layers upon layers of pieces that really make that world come together.
I'm going to say to Bryn, when you guys eventually visit Diagon Alley, you will see many beautiful little details. It's all about little details, and they're the items that Bryn is creating. So take a lot of time when you're there to really look up and look down and look in corners. You'll see some beautiful little pieces, some very big ones as well.
Yeah, there's one of them you won't miss. So.
That's a good thing about something like that, though, is because in the movies, you work on those things, and a lot of times the camera pans so fast, or you're only in there for a little bit, so some of those details that you spend months or years on sometimes gets overlooked, but in a place like this, you can actually sit there and go.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you find in movies, we work on lots of detailed pieces, and in some films, you very rarely get to see those. Sometimes it's in the background, or it's a very quick camera shot, but here, we realise that you guys are going to be getting your cameras out, your iPhones, and taking close-ups of things, so we've had to really make sure that we're on top of our game, and everything is as detailed as we can.
With our sister Harry Potter experience in London at Leavesden Studios, I don't know if many of you guys have been to see it, but you can actually see that level of detail in the film sets, the props, the costumes, the creatures, the vehicles, every detail, and that's inspired us to push as hard as we can here. And Eric, especially, again, going back to the vanishing cabinet, the detail is amazing in this. You can go right up to it, it's all there. Behind that beautiful detail filigree is a whole amazing mechanism. It could be a joy to study.
And I mean, a piece like this, the locking mechanism, for instance, there were no drawings of it. The effects guys on the movie just created it. So my team had to work for weeks and weeks from photographs to recreate it exactly, but they've done an amazing job with it.
Very nice. Jason?
I'm here with my friend Saida from Mexico.
Hi guys, first, thanks to you because you bring all Howard's thing to the reality so we can stay here. And well, my ask is, what did you think it would be the most difficult piece to bring to reality that you don't yet, you don't do this.
Something you haven't brought over from the movie yet. What would be the most difficult thing to bring to life?
We were talking about this ourselves the other night, saying what would be next, what would be really cool, and I think we all agreed was the Ministry of Magic be amazing to create because so huge. This is just us, three of us talking, but we're quietly going to build it when nobody's looking. But it's just vast, it's absolutely vast.
I mean, if you go to the museum in London, if any of you are lucky enough to get over there, we've actually set up a Ministry of Magic exhibit, so you can actually walk in. It's not as big as the Ministry of Magic, but we've got the stuff that we sculpted and built. We've got elements of that there, so if you guys get to go over there, you'll see some of that anyway.
I gotta say, even though that would be like one of the harder ones, it's gotta be one of the more fun ones to work on, like to create that really.
Oh yeah, it was a huge set. I mean, it was a big challenge for everybody, just in the size of the set, that everything went into it, all the work I had to put into it with the sculptures and the gold statues and all that stuff, but everyone came together. We got Paul Westcott over here at the minute. He's the lead painter on all the movies. He's actually helping us paint the land. So this is how authentic that Universal have really gone out their way to make sure we're all involved. But he painted something like 5,000 tiles for that set or something. He had like 4 paint shops set up, and each one of these tiles had to look like real ceramic tiles. That was the level of detail that Stuart required, and it was a big challenge, that set, wasn't it?
Paul is a real talent, like all the leads on the theme park and the films, where they're pushed rigorously to replicate very authentic finishes from London, from throughout the world that we bring into these projects, and it's fabulous working with these guys. We only are all skilled in our little way, in the little area we touch, but to see these other artisans bring their details in and to collectively create this amazing world is quite special.
No, it is, and to work with these guys, obviously a lot of them have worked in movies and TV, like Eric has, but a lot of the guys that are working in the land haven't, and us coming out, it's been fascinating working with them, and it's been a joy and a pleasure working with these guys, and they've really made us feel welcome. It's really been good. Julia?
All right, I have Robert from Phoenix with me, and this will be our last question.
I was part of the crew that founded and went back to Tunisia and rebuilt Luke Skywalker's set there this last couple of years. So I understand the problems of taking a film set and converting it to modern. And one of the questions I had for you guys is, have you guys been documenting this process? Will there be a more in-depth book of what you've gone through to take this from something on set to this, so that some of us could really delve into the minute details of how you did this?
It's a really nice idea. It's something that's done quite a lot. And we actually do document everything as part of our process, and it's a lovely idea to sometime hopefully share this journey with you guys. Like you've seen a small taste of it this morning through Eric's slides, but it's really very similar to the experience you would have had at the film sets, where it's a very staged, beautiful journey where eventually you end up and suddenly it's there. And it'd be great to share that with you guys. So let's see, let's hope that happens.
Yeah, it's quite a different process bringing, with films, we've got books already. I think Page to Screen is the Harry Potter making of Harry Potter, and there's a Wizarding book, I think. But to bring that into the theme park world to something that's permanent is another matter, isn't it? It's
we don't want to give all the magic away. We want you guys to feel absolutely real.
And we brought our magic wands with us, didn't we?
It is real.
Yeah, we had magic wands, didn't we?
We have our own special magic wands.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got a great group of magicians who works with me every day to make all this happen. And I mean, we do it for the fans. It's for you guys, because we're fans, and we want it to be perfect.
Well guys, that is all the time we have here. I thank Alan, Bryn, and Eric for coming in here and spending some time with us. Guys, give them another big round of applause.